Okay, everyone.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Monique Medeiros. I'm a professor at the Federal University of Pará. I'm working more specifically in this institute there, the Amazon Institute of Family Agriculture. And today I prepare some notes to share with you about my project that I present to the funding agents that made it possible for me to be here with you in this lab during 20 days. And so I'm glad about it. And this project called Amazon Quilombola Territories in Transformation between development projects and resistance strategies. So I'll be discussing this project, and for this, I prepared this speech in some topics. I organized this speech in some topics, and the first one is about the pathways that are lead to me in this archipelago, the huge archipelago in Pará, called Marajó. And so I speak a little bit more about the quilombola territory and the community and this municipality called Salvaterra inside of this archipelago. And I need share with you the ideas about the state-supported top-down development project in this municipality, and more specifically in this kind of territory, quilombola territory. And I would share too the resistance strategies do for this kind of communities, quilombola communities. And I will make connections or share the connections between this project, this proposal, and another projects that we have in this kind of territory. So for this beginning, it's important to say I'm Brazilian. I'm born in São Paulo in the southwest of Brazil, and I have an undergraduate degree in agronomy in my home state, hometown. And during my undergraduate studies, I had the opportunity to know same states in the Brazilian Amazon. And I have my thesis, for example, in Amazonas, in this state, with traditional population, traditional communities there. And I could know a little bit more the diversity of family farmers in Brazil. And I'm starting my master degree in the South, and I had the opportunity to do to work as a rural extension in EMATER, institution in Rio Grande do Sul. So I have another opportunity to do my PhD in the South too, in the Santa Catarina more specifically. And so I have the opportunity to become a professor in 2018 in this university, in the Federal University of Pará, where I working until today. And so in this institute, in the Amazon Institute of Family Agriculture, I had the opportunity, the luck, I think it's possible to say that, to know undergraduate student called Luciane Lopes, a quilombola woman, who presents me the complexity, the biodiversity, everything about this archipelago, and more specifically, more about the Salvaterra, the municipality, and about our about her community called Vila União Campina. And so we grow together. For us, I think it was very important to say this, because we grow together and we get, for Luciane, they finished the undergraduate degree, the master degree, and now he starts the PhD in the same university. And for me, it was very special too, because in this moment, for example, I got this fellowship, and it's possible to be here because this work that we constructed together. So it's important to share with you the research question for this proposal. And this research question is, what resistance strategies do quilombola families employ in response to top-down development projects supported by the state in the municipality of Salvaterra, Pará? This question guide this proposal that I submit for this agency, the financial agency, and I will start contextualizing this question. I think it's interesting. Do the highlights about this. This is a map from Marajó Archipelago. How it's possible to see the huge archipelago. There are 16 municipalities in this archipelago. It's the landscape is amazing. There's a forest, there's fields, there are rivers, and a lot of fruits and a lot of cultural diversity too. In Salvaterra, more specifically, in the red circle there, where we have projects, where we have the connection with these communities. There is a lot of people that recognize itself as a quilombola people. And, in this archipelago, there are a paradox and a contrast too. We have a landscape amazing, we have a tourist, for example, as a potential thing, but we have two low human development index. The health and the education, for example, are very worried about for this context. And more specific about Salvaterra, there we have 18 communities that recognize themselves as quilombolas. And it's important to highlight this because Salvaterra is a municipality that have the higher or the biggest density for this kind of communities, quilombola communities in the country. It's a very expressive presence of these communities in this municipality, is the highest in the country. And for example, there in this municipality, one third of the municipalities is recognizing themselves as quilombolas, and 7,000 people there. And these people have a special connection with the land, with water, with the entities too. It's very special connections. And these people work with agriculture, the people work with strategies, efficient, and raising small animals too. And is another thing. It's some of them also involved with local tourism, but I can speak a little bit more after about this. If in this kind of municipality, in this kind of part of this archipelago, there are a lot of perspective of development, and is the state-owned perspective on what national development should look like there and how it should be operationalized in the Amazon. It's important to share with you too. One of the most impressive examples of these different dates to early 2000s. At this time, large-scale rice farmers removed from Raposa Serra do Sol, an indigenous land in Roraima, were looking for another areas or another lands. And some sectors of Pará state's government and local municipalities provided them with incentives to establish larger scale rice production in Marajó. And this type of agriculture requires intensive pesticide use, leading to several environmental and health risks, especially concerning water contamination. And this kind of expansion of rice cultivation represents a classic top-down development project there. This is imposed without consultation with the affected communities as a community, quilombolas communities. This form of monoculture not only overlaps with quilombola territories, but also change course of local rivers. And rice cultivation demands high volumes of water, and river irrigation systems depend of the rivers that quilombola communities rely on for survival. And here we see that a new federal court act calls for the end of rice plantation on public land in Marajó due to environmental and land irregularities and this type of monocropping. As a result of these conflicts, there have been several death threats against quilombola leaders. And in addition to the threats, in 2013, a leader from the municipality of Cachoeira do Arari, which were neighbors Salvaterra, was murdered. And the photo in the next slide here, on the photo on the right, we can see a large industry that was built in Salvaterra to process rice. And on the left, it's possible to see a field being prepared for rice planting. And in this field, I would like just to make a highlight, because we have a bacuri fruit tree in the middle of this photo, whose significance for the quilombola communities goes beyond food security and takes on shape of identity and ancestry. This photo is very meaningful because, just like the bacuri tree, the quilombola families have resisted against the development projects. And another major top-down development project in Salvaterra was the construction of the PA 154, it's a state highway. And this highway is 52 kilometers long and connects the municipality of Salvaterra and Cachoeira do Arari, the largest rice producing region in the state of Pará. This highway was primarily built to support rice production logistics, for example. And one of the most affected communities was Vila União Campina, the community where Luciane is born. And while the road improved mobility for community, for quilombola family, it also brought significant social cultural disruptions. With increased accessibility came new challenges too, like an influx of outsiders, rising drug circulation, and the occupation of quilombola lands by non-community members. A particular poignant reflection from the community was shared with me, and I will share with you too now. With the arrival of this highway, the encanted entities, or encantados, were run over. They who were our guides are no longer there. This statement encapsulates the deep spiritual and cultural losses experienced by the community as their territory undergoes rapid and imposing transformations. And another top-down development project that we can highlight in Salvaterra is the pineapple monocropping. Today, Salvaterra is a municipality that produces the most pineapple in the state. Intensified monocropping in Salvaterra started in 1999 with the encouragement of the state through technical assistance and rural extension. Although pineapple is not a monotropic linked to large landowners, it is connected to a homogenizing technological package that imposes a series of chemical inputs like a fertilizer and pesticides. Thus, we understand the large rice plantation, the pineapple monocropping, and the arrival of the highway as a top-down development project formulated with the support of the state. Among these projects, the one related to the pineapple has a detail that I would like to share with you. Odenira Research, one of my master's students, show us how on different smallholder proprietors, pineapple has become an integral part of the agricultural systems of rural communities and the income of families. In this research, we analyze the deconstruction of the technological package of monoculture pineapple by quilombola families and the incorporation of the fruits into their farmer areas. We will discuss this strategy in this paper, for example. And the mix of pineapple with cassava, for example, is something that needs to be highlighted. Cassava plantations, so important to these people, are becoming increasingly rare in some communities in Salvaterra, but women are working hard to ensure that new generations continue to grow cassava as their quilombola ancestor did. And pineapples were also found in the home gardens of quilombola families, and in these communities, they are called terreiros. These spaces are connected to the kitchen of the houses, and there, women cultivate a biodiversity of plants and small animals for preparing meals, plants for health treatments, medical plants for rituals, among other things. These terreiros contribute to the food sovereign of quilombola families. They also serve as a space for passing on ancestral knowledge, healthcare, and leisure. In this article, whose first author is José Felipe, another one of my master students, we talk a little more about this. Over the years, we become more attentive to these resistance strategies, socioproductive and organizational too, and followed some clues. And Luciane, for example, chose to conduct her master research, highlighting the importance of quilombola schools as a space for make more strong these strategies for the quilombola territory. Having learned more about some of these resistance initiatives, José Felipe, during his master degree, chose to deepen his research into how organization initiatives value and guarantee the maintenance of quilombola territory in Salvaterra. In this thesis, we searched for highlights of the expression of quilombismo by Abdias Nascimento, such as nucleus of action and resistance Vila União, and the other group of women who hold the quilombola fair in the same community, this one. And more specific about the nucleus, in 2019, the young woman of Vila União community formed this nucleus. The group has been focused on compiling the community's history, make more strong the memories about the ancestors and their common purpose. If you want new or know more about this nucleus, it's possible searching this nucleus in the Instagram, for example. So you have the hint. And another thing that is important to say that this nucleus, the NARC, supports the women's collective, which this one another group, another farmers group, since 2022, and this group of women organized farmers markets to sell the products grown in their home gardens or terreiros and fields or roças. the market plays a very significant role in their lives. And for example, it's possible for this woman have financial autonomy and be the person who makes the propriety, the hostels, the terreiros more strong, more connected to your identity. In summary, we understand that quilombola families' resistance strategies to top-down development projects are diverse. We are understanding these strategies as a socio-productive and organizational tool. In some cases, these strategies blend and become a network. It has also become clear to us that most of these resistance strategies are led by quilombola women. Our further analysis will probably have to involve intersectionality about this. And through the projects we have in partnership with these communities, we have constantly tried to bring these strategies of resistance to life. And here are some of the projects we have in partnership with these communities. This project is talking about food sovereign, valuing quilombola territories. I'd like to highlighting this third one about the climate resilient agroforest and quilombola communities of Brazil and Amazon, because in this one, this project was built during a month-long remote training process that involved different research teams made up of people from all over the world, including researchers and local leaders. And the course aimed to make more strong the capacity of people, researchers, local leaders, to adopt transdisciplinary approaches to dealing with environmental change affecting tropical forests and dependent communities. In the case of our research team, Luciane and Glenda, representative of Vila União community, participated in the formation and construction of the proposal. And after the training phase, 9 projects were approved to receive funding for the Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research. And our proposal was approved and will serve as a seed grant, allow us to develop a more robust research proposal with the quilombola communities. And since our research team working on these projects include Brazilians, and Brazilians never give up, from the seed grant, we will seek inspiration to develop a strong researcher proposal to be submitted to a funding agency. This is important. So say too that this third one and the last one project is an international project with a participation, for example, of the University of Georgia, University of Colombia and Peru, in the regions of Amazon too. It's very interesting in these moments. And here is possible to see Luciane in the moment to show for the community or to the community about our project, our ideas linked for this start the project. And as you may have noticed, our research topics are fluid, following the architecture of the territory by Tim Ingold, and our challenge has been to strike a transdisciplinary balance between the involved interests and needs of quilombola communities, the demands of national and international research and funding agencies, and the analytical perspective we bring as a researcher group. And one thing, however, is central to us for these engaged researcher projects to take shape. It is essential to build relationships of trust with the communities and remain open to challenge prejudice and fears. And by a way of analogy, I share with you the photo on the left, taken in Vila União community. And here, Dona Ana is teaching me how to ride a bike, and I'm trying not to fall. And I would like to conclude this presentation with a brief talk from my two special research partners, Luciane and Glenda. And I don't know if it's possible try with this link, but if we have time, that's okay. If I don't have time.
There, but I don't know if it's gonna have sound. No, it's not gonna have. Can you copy the link on the chat?
Yeah.
Nunca fiz.
Mais 3 anos. E dizer um pouco sobre a nossa experiência em relação a alguns projetos com a professora Medeiros. Sobre a progressão de existência quilombola de capital, não? Que é um núcleo mas a gente vai universidade, e dentro de outras temos dentro de diversas linhas, nós também temos muitos parceiros. Os processos programáticos associados à população negra quanto global. Programaticamente política essas nossas parcerias vontade. E aí, esse mais. Ou 10 primeiros familiares. Isso orienta a professora nós vários trabalhos, e esses trabalhos eles foram necessários para auxiliar o trabalho começou mesmo. Nós fazemos trabalhos que são para profissionais, a Universidade trabalhos com Atualmente estou doutorando e vou estudar importante para a questão da soberania alimentar da comunidade. E, né, vários trabalhos em parceria com a parceria, falando sobre os locais, falando sobre a alimentação escolar, para fortalecer a questão da competitividade, mas a valorização da própria alimentação eu ancestral, que também nos auxilia a fortalecer a cultura da comunidade e a identidade das pessoas que estão ali. Então, o nosso trabalho ele é muito focado para as mulheres, nós trabalhamos com mulheres dentro da comunidade, e tem e a partir da maneira que nós fazem esse trabalho com a feira quilombola, nós conseguimos fazer parceria constante com as mulheres para que elas possam estar em áreas que junto com a universidade. Então, a comunidade também tem uma associação, que é a associação e a associação ela também muito cedo também ele é um trabalho que iniciaram, mas é um trabalho que não surgiu do nada. A partir de toda essa trajetória de parceria, no trabalho com a professora Monique.
Just on observation, I think it's important to say quilombola were people that. Sorry, not about this. But quilombola are the black people in Brazil who resisted to the slavery process and resisted until today, how it's possible to say. And Brazil, the bureaucratic process to recognize people started in 2003. And this community, in special in Salvaterra, started looking for this recognize the institutional recognized in 2004, and until now the people don't have this title of the land. It's very important to say that because the big landowners linked to the rice production in this moment occupying this land illegally for sure, but important. So I think it's easy. Thank you so much for your attention. And
So now we can open up for discussion, question. Victor.
Thank you very much for your presentation and congratulations. I'd like to ask you a question that was something you touched upon and also your informants, which was the role of women in this resistance networks.
There are Brazilian streets if you want.
Thank you. And I'm wondering, how do you explain this? Like, is this something linked to gender roles, linked to the role of women in the reproduction of life? How do you make sense of this? The importance of women in being part and leading the resistance networks, the nucleus of action.
I think for this kind of quilombola culture, the whole of the woman is very important. Connect to the agriculture, but the political strategies too. So until now, until today, these women have a role very important in that. But the knowledge about the plants, for example, is connected with the woman, and the new generation learning with this woman too. It's interesting to notice that because the work that the nucleus have in this moment is about this to make more strong this ancestral knowledge, the woman ancestral knowledge too, and with this the political security of this territory with this knowledge.
You're already clean. So the Quilombos are groups of the people, black slaves that escaped slavery and created like these self-managed communities. But seems like probably 18th century or even earlier, no?
Exactly.
I remember there is the book of Eduardo Galeano that talks about that as a case of one of the first self-managed communities in the Americas, no? But so my question is about the identity of Quilombola, because they are not only Negros people, they're not only black
No,
people.
but I think it's more
They're
connected to
mixed.
identity. Yeah, it's a mix. It's not just about the color of the skin, but it's identity, the cultural identity, the religion, for example, the
So they have a specific religion as well.
it's more connected to the Afro religions, but in this moment it's changed too, because the evangelical,
Evangelics, yeah.
yeah, it's very expressive in this kind of territories too. But the magic plants, for example, or the connection with the nature, they recognize it with the entities, it's present, it's very expressive in this kind of territory until now, even with this religion.
Okay. And how many quilombos are in Brazil? Where they are mainly concentrated in the Nordeste or?
Northwest, there are a lot of, but in the southwest, that it's possible to find the quilombolas too. But I don't have this number now, but after I could share with you if you want. But the density is more expressive and distinct, but in the northwest, it's possible to find a lot of people. The high number of the people, quilombola, and that is in the northwest.
Because they escaped, so they went to
Exactly.
remote places.
The plantation for the sugar cane, for example.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah, I have a question about the approach to the collection of the data, because you said that there are more or less 1/3 of the people recognize themselves as quilombolas. So there is a census or you surveys or
Yeah, we have a census, but more recently, I think it's in 2023, we have the first quilombola census. And with this, it was possible to know exactly where is the people and how is the kind of activity, the productive activity these people do, and that's it. The census is very important for this contest because we have more specificity of this kind of data.
Yeah, I had a similar question to Aitor. I was wondering because you explained like the trust relationship that you built. So I was wondering like how did you build this relationship? Was it a relationship that your institution had already with these people? Was it more your group? And also like how is it perceived? I guess because there is a tense relationship between some institutions and them. So how do you position or?
I think I have luck because I work in this institute and there we have a tradition in the research projects to construct with the people, not to or for the people. And I'm learning with these people too, with my colleagues, the co-workers. Because these people who lives a lot of time in the Amazon and I don't. And I'm starting the learning process with these people too. And so with this kind of inspiration with my co-workers, I started to the link it with the community with help of Luciano.
Mm.
And so understand the dynamics, the territorial dynamics there, and know more people, and with this, doing more connection with this community and with these people too. But in this institute, we have co-workers, like agronomists, sociologists, but anthropologists too. And with these colleagues, anthropologists is very special because it's possible learning more about this and do more research like this with the people, not for the people.
Okay. More question, doubts? It's a shame that Poonam is not here. Right?
No,
It'd be
it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested in. You had a conversation with him.
Yeah.
So Monique will be with us all this week, and then we are trying to see if we can submit a proposal to create a network for exchange between her university and Ligo. So maybe we can send people there or receive people from Para.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think it's super interesting. And most probably David and I will be there a couple of weeks for the COP because Belém is hosting the next COP on Turkey.
It's important to say too. And this host tent is transforming the landscape and the people too, because the tourism, for example, the economic process is a little bit, it's a problem too. It's not just a good thing, but it's not a good transformation too.
How is the tourism affecting this region?
Because it's a big project too. It's not a construction with the people, what the people need and want to show for the tourists, for example, is just a point of the tourism. And like these, the people, the external people came in the communities, for example, with another ways to see the world.
What is the impact of the evangelical communities in this in the archipelago?
Where?
The evangelic community. What is the impact?
Yeah, but
So these people are coming from the south, from the capital.
yeah, from the south too.
Because they are very important in the support of Bolsonaro right wing, no?
Yes, but it's very complex because inside of this kind of communities, it's possible to find the people who support the Bolsonaro too. It's a paradox, but it's
Among the
possible to
quilombolas?
find. Yeah, the quilombola are inside of the communities entity movements, the social movement. So the capillarity of this Bolsonaro movement is very huge and
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like
All around the world, I think. And how is the relation of quilombola with the governments and the administrations?
yeah, it depends of the level, because in the municipality, for example, in Salvaterra, we have a secretary of education who is quilombola. And that's totally different because he thinks about the opportunity to open the program called PNAE for the food at the schools to the quilombola people, for example.
Yeah.
But in the scale of the state, the person who occupies this
Decision like this.
the position now, it's not thinking about the needs of the communities or the needs of the territory. It's another kind of ideas, like expansion of the rights, like tourism, top-down tourism, and like the top-down projects.
They don't have to account this.
No.
This is kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much and muito obrigado.